Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Hesse Bros Pod. It's Brent Hesse, and joining me to my left on the screen, Luke, my younger brother. Luke,
Yep.
I think it's clear who we're both fans of. As you can see, I've got my Chief stuff on. Luke
Going
is
pretty
a
well.
lifelong Lions fan, so we thought no better time for us both to talk about some playoff football than after the Chiefs are now going for trying to contend for their sixth straight AFC championship game. If they can win this week, the Lions just won their first playoff game in how many years?
30 years. I'm telling you,
Before
the
you
city is buzzing right now. We're feeling good. We are
before you
feeling
were
good.
born. So that's pretty
Way
cool.
before. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna talk about it all, postseason playoffs, everything. I mean, we're gonna go all out. We ain't gonna hold anything back. I know we're both crazy fans, so we're not gonna hold anything back here. We'll jump into the first game. Chiefs. Okay, this Chiefs team, it's different than the past years. Everyone knows it. For some reason, the offense isn't the same as it's been. But the difference that nobody's talking about is the defense isn't the same as it's been either. They have been locked down all season long, haven't allowed any more than like 25, 26 points all season long. I know they haven't allowed 30 points this year. And once again, just shut down a dynamic offense. Of course, everyone says, oh, it was negative 30 degrees. And I was in Kansas City for that game, didn't go to the game, but was in city. And yes, it was brutally cold, but they still held the Dolphins to 7 points. They've been playing lockdown defense all season long. And I think they're just as legit. I think they're just as scary as ever, even if it's a different type of scary.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And as far as those wide receivers go, they might have a few problems dropping passes. I know you know about that from that Lions Chiefs game. I know it
Yes, we were
hasn't been
both at
great
that
all
game
year, but
together.
yep. Yep. But I'm saying it does have a good chance of their defense being able to stop Josh Allen. How were you feeling during that Dolphins game, B. Hess?
Well, to be honest with you, I was a little bit nervous after the Tyreek bomb, just because that was the way that that was a one play. But really, I was locked in. What I kept saying is they don't want to be here. The Dolphins did not want to be there. You could tell they were cold. They were not enjoying being there, and the Chiefs were just feeding off the crowd. The fans were still hype. Arrowhead was buzzing, and I was confident because I just knew the Dolphins didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Chiefs
Yeah. I
just
mean,
wanted
it
it
is tough
more.
for a
As
team in
simple as
warm
that.
weather.
Chiefs wanted it more. Of
Oh, for
So,
sure.
course,
But
Rasheed
hey,
Rice. I've been saying Rasheed Rice all season long, and he's been slowly coming along. That guy, he's a wide
he is
receiver one
nice.
now. Chiefs have a wide
Oh
receiver
yeah,
one. Now the question is, do they have a wide receiver two? That's the
they
question.
don't. They don't. They have Kelsey kind of. He gets bracketed every game. I mean, he's all right, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I did. I was thinking though, Dolphins were gonna win. I bet them to win, but
Of course he
I
did.
I am gonna say I did bet the Dolphins to win. I did. I thought it was gonna happen.
See, Luke,
I'm
I
saying, what
was
did you think about those roughing the passer calls? What were those? I don't think those were fouls. I feel like
what the
Dolphins should
one
have that
roughing
ball
the
back.
passer Mahomes got.
Yeah.
He only got one. It's not like it was multiples. It was just
No, he
one.
did get two on that same drive, did he not? And it's like, I don't know. I feel like those weren't fouls.
I mean, it's football. If we want to talk about roughing the passer, we can talk about that Josh Allen slide because that
Yeah,
one
but
was pissed me
I
off.
feel like the Dolphins were
Mahomes
going to get
has
some
not gotten
momentum.
anywhere near the roughing the passers that Josh Allen has gotten this season. So,
Mahomes,
you play the game.
they'll
People
give him
always love to
anything,
talk
bro. They
about
don't
when the
care.
Chiefs get the flag, but then everyone's quiet whenever the Chiefs don't get the flag. We've seen that a couple times this year as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Mahomes is kind of like Zach Eady. They just hold him up as their golden child. But yeah, we don't have to get into that anyway.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah, that's really what they're doing. They're throwing flags on Kadarius Toney, not calling pass interference when MVS is getting mugged down the field. You know how it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't understand it, Luke. I really don't. You're betting the line. You're betting the Dolphins. I
Yeah,
put in a beautiful Chiefs money line, Lions money line parlay that cashed at over plus
that
money. I was
was a
riding
good
with
one.
both, and of course, you over here were fading my team. But that's really all I want to talk about for the Dolphins game. Rasheed Rice, he's a number one.
Oh yeah,
The Chiefs wanted it, the Dolphins didn't. I mean, I know you're hyped about a wild card win as a Lions fan. We're
a big
accustomed
one.
to this since Mahomes. When it was 8 years ago when the Chiefs beat the Texans for the first time in my life that they won a playoff game, I was
Mhm.
hyped for it with Alex Smith and the Nile Davis kickoff return touchdown and the 30-0 win and Eric Berry and all the interceptions. But now a wild card win, it's just the start of a run. So that's all we've got for the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was a good game. The Chiefs have a great defense. I think that they'll be looking nice these next few weeks if they can keep it going. If they can keep it going.
So now let's talk about we'll go into the Lions, then we'll talk about upcoming matchups. Let's
Let's go
get
on to
your
the Lions.
reaction.
Why not? I was thinking that was a great game. I knew we were gonna win. I was praying it was gonna work, and it freaking worked, bro. I loved that. That was so awesome, bro.
And
The
what was
entire
really
night
cool,
partying.
I was actually watching with the Lions fan as well.
Yeah.
And he's a diehard Lions fan. He's a Michigan fan, so watched the Rose Bowl with him. Then we watched the Lions game in the same spot. We're bunkered down. So I was rooting for the Lions the whole way as well.
You had to be.
It was a
You
it was
had
a
to be.
scary one. It was a scary one. Two totally different halves. First half,
I
all
was
offense.
scared.
Second half, no touchdowns, just field goals and defense.
Yeah, but we are looking nice, bro. Stafford balled out. Puka absolutely crazy. But that was Detroit's night. That was Detroit's night. That's what made it so awesome, bro. That Sam Laporta touchdown. Sam
Yes.
Laporta touchdown,
Sneaky
bro.
Sam, as we like to call him. Sneaky Sam. I
Fourth
couldn't
and
believe
one.
that play call.
Goff with a dot. Come on.
Fourth and one. This is a play call, right? Fourth and one. They go
Yep.
three tight end set, and they run the guy with the gimpy knee across the field for the touchdown.
His hands are too good. He's nice.
Wow. No,
Yep.
that was a bold one.
Hey,
I had
you
him
know what
on
other
Rod.
touchdown I called? Gibbs, bro. I knew he was going to score on that
Yes.
play. First and goal, bro. Handed off to him, and he's breaking tackles. And guess what he did? Broke tackle, got in the end zone.
Well, that was so impressive. The first drive was all Monty straight down the field for a touchdown. Second drive, all Gibbs straight down the field for a touchdown. I thought at that point the Lions were rolling, but then the Rams, they got it together. The Lions started to bog down. That one, oh my, what about Jared Goff chest passing
Bro,
it
that's
backwards?
why I'm scared of Goff in big situations. I am, and I think that could be our downfall. But I think that he's gonna be looking nice. Like he did put the team on his back for that game, and he was ready to go.
Well, I would just have to say, man, congrats to Detroit. And not
Yeah,
only did they get the win at home, but a Cowboys did a masterful choke job, and now the Lions get
that was
another home
awesome.
playoff game.
That was awesome. I needed that Packers win too. We needed that, and the city got it, and
Yeah.
that's what made it so great. And I just want to make a couple shout outs for a couple plays this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Amon Ross St. Brown on those two third downs. Well, it was a 2nd and 9 to cap off the game,
Yes.
and where he got the first down and that one, bro. He broke that. He broke that. Oh, he hit him with the 1-2. He was gone. Easy post route, first down. We needed that first down bad. They were going to get the ball back and probably score. And just one more thing for all the Rams fans or anyone like that that's saying, "Oh yeah, it was a pull on that last play." It was a bit of a pull on Sutton, and yeah, he has been doing that a decent amount. But the thing is, you say that the refs gave the Rams that game. You cannot say that because at the end of the first half, what happened? False start on Decker? No, it was offsides on
Oh
the
yes, that
defense.
offsides
Fourth
was
and 10,
brutal.
bro.
That
It should
offsides
have
was
been a first
brutal.
down. That's 3 or 7 points off the board, bro, at the end of the first half. Imagine we were up 28. We had 28 in that first half, bro. We would have won. That would have been a free win. Like, there's no way we would have blown that lead.
Well, see, and that's the thing is, yes, there always are bad calls in every football game, but for some reason only some of them get talked about. When, like you
Yeah.
said, that one was a
Yeah.
huge
People
one.
aren't paying attention to the games.
Right. And if the game ends a different way, then that's the one they're talking about. You could say that with the Lions Cowboys game that happened a few weeks back. But that's a whole different tangent that we're not getting
Yeah,
into
there's too
today.
much. There's too much.
But yes, that Amon Ross 2nd and 9. I told my buddy, I was like, they need to be aggressive here because that was coming out of 2-minute warning, right? They had the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
2-minute warning to think about it. And I was
No,
like, they
and
just need to be aggressive. And that's exactly what they did. They found Amon Ra. You can't play to try to trust your defense. Just you got to make one play to ice it. And that's
that's
exactly
Dan
what they
Campbell
did.
ball right there.
So
I mean, we just need that one first down and it was game over, and that's Dan Campbell ball. We make that play.
that's the
Yeah.
aggressiveness paying off. That 4th and 1 touchdown, Laporta, that
Yep.
2nd and 9 play to ice it. Very aggressive plays. Way different than going for it. A 2-point conversion from the 7. Much smarter spots. But well done, Dan Campbell. He gets the playoff win. Lions into the divisional round, just like the Chiefs.
That is the problem with the Lions. Sometimes we do get a little bit too emotional, but it doesn't matter. We've still got the players to win it. Well, we have good weapons. We have really good weapons. If our defense gets turnovers, We're gonna be looking nice these next few weeks.
Well, you want to go ahead and talk about these next couple matchups?
Let's do it. Let's do it. But yeah,
Okay,
quick
we'll
recap
start.
on that Packers game. That was awesome. We needed that. And
Yeah,
yeah, that was huge. And yeah, the other games this weekend. I mean, what a time to be an NFL fan. It really is. I can't remember any time like this, obviously, as a Lions fan, but even just an NFL fan. It's such a great year. CJ Stroud down there with
yeah.
them
Well,
boys.
let's talk about that game. That's the first game on Saturday, right?
Yep.
CJ Stroud versus Lamar. Obviously, Chiefs implications. If CJ can pull off the upset and the Chiefs win, they will have the Arrowhead Invitational for the sixth straight year. If not, if
That
the
boy's gonna be
Ravens
rocking.
win, now this is all under the assumption just right now that, of course, the Chiefs make it to the AFC Championship game. We're going to get into that game in a minute.
Of course.
But then if the Ravens win, it's the Mahomes-Lamar playoff matchup that we haven't seen. The Chiefs have played any remotely good quarterback in the playoffs over this Mahomes run. Of course, the Chiefs have played Burrow multiple times. They played Josh Allen multiple times. Played Tua now. We played Trevor Lawrence. Haven't played Herbert because he's in our division. Can't even make the playoffs. But you know what I'm saying. All the
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
quarterbacks the Chiefs have played in the playoffs besides Lamar. So it's either a very interesting matchup. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be tough. Definitely tough for the Chiefs on that. I feel like their offense is going to
Well,
need a big play.
what about that matchup Texans Ravens?
Oh yeah, Texans Ravens. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh for sure. CJ Stroud has been doing really good, and Lamar though. People are forgetting about Lamar. It's going to be the Texans already had a great year. They did, and I really do think that CJ Stroud is going to have a good game, but it's not going to be enough. Ravens are too good. They blow out so many good teams, and Lamar, he's going to have a nice year. It's going to be tough for anyone to beat him for sure. The rest of the playoffs. I mean, got a good chance to make the Super Bowl. I'm thinking, and he is the MVP of the league. So
Yes.
yeah, it's going to be tough to get him out of the playoffs. I mean, come
I've
on, it's going to
I
be
have a
Ravens.
couple thoughts on this game. Of course, Lamar, I love Lamar, second favorite quarterback in the league. We're from Louisville. You go to IU, but we're
Yeah,
from Louisville pretty much. I got to watch Lamar when he was playing in college some. And so, of course, I love Lamar. He's a great quarterback, dynamic, absolutely well deserved his second MVP. However, here are the concerns. Playing devil's advocate. Last
yeah,
time Lamar won the MVP, they were the one seed. They had extra week of rest. They had the bye, plus they rested in week 8. Well, there wasn't week 18. There was only 17 games back then. There's 16 games, 17 weeks. So they were off an extra week as well, just like they are now. They started slow against the Titans. It was Henry, ran all over him. What if they start slow again and now they're in trouble? They're a team that is accustomed to playing ahead. They've been ahead every game this year. Even the games they've lost they've blown it at the end. It's not like they have played much from behind this season. Another thing, Lamar is great when teams aren't prepared for him, right? I mean, what did he do to the
yeah,
Lions
yeah.
this year? Blew him out. What did he do to the
Killed
Seahawks?
him.
Blew him out. That's what
Killed
he
him.
does to NFC
Dolphins
teams.
killed
He
him.
blows them out because they don't prepare for him. What
Yep.
are his toughest matchups? Always the divisional games. The Browns got him the second time this year. The Steelers got him once the only time he played this year. When
Mm.
teams get to see him a little bit more, at least they have some sort of idea how to defend him. Because when you have never run it, you can't run a scout team for him. Obviously, he's a unicorn. He's a freak. He's the
Yep.
marvelous. But the Texans played him week 1, and that D'Amico Ryans guy, he is a smart guy. So
Defense is playing. Young
if the
defense, they're
Ravens
good.
if the Ravens have to shake off a little bit of rust, if they're not at their A game to start the game, and Ryans has at least some sort of beat on Jackson,
Yeah.
I think CJ Stroud, I was saying this before the Texans even clinched a playoff spot. I was already ready to put CJ Stroud top 10 quarterbacks. Now I think it's not even a question. I think
Oh,
he's
top five.
unquestionable. You
Top
cannot
five.
name 10 quarterbacks in the NFL better than CJ Stroud.
Top five for sure. Top five.
Top
And I
5
mean,
already?
yeah. Oh yeah. And I was thinking, bro, I put in a bet earlier, Texans to win the Super Bowl when they were like 2-7, because I saw how good he was, and I was like, hey, throw it in $10 to win a grand. I mean, I
That's
think that has a
awesome.
decent chance. That's looking pretty good. So I'm telling you, Texans are nice, but Ravens probably beat them. Anytime touchdown scorer though, I do think Nico Collins has a decent chance of getting in.
I
I
hit a
feel like he
Nico
could.
Collins anytime touchdown last week.
Yep.
I
Yep.
that I
He's
had that
balling.
upset last week. Texans over Browns outright. This
Yep.
week, I have placed one bet so far on that game. It's just Texans to cover. I like the 9.5 line just for all the reasons I mentioned. Ravens start slow. Ryans might be able to slow down Lamar. CJ Stroud is a freak. I think if you're making me pick the game, I'm picking the Ravens, but I do like the Texans to cover. That's my thoughts on the game.
Yep. Money lines on that game. I don't know about those. I think we're chilling on those. And TD score, Collins, we're looking good. So yeah.
I don't hate Collins. I mean, he hit last week. Without their wide receiving core is kind of decimated. I mean, Noah Brown was popping. He got hurt. Tank Dell is a great player. He's out for the year. So yeah, Nico's the guy. Him or Schultz. But that's the game. Okay, so second game is the other game Saturday is the other 1 seed we'll get to see for the first time this playoffs. That is the 49ers. Christian McCaffrey.
I'm scared about them. For the Lions, I'm scared.
Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, that whole Avenger squad they got.
That's who we have to beat to make the Super Bowl, I feel like,
versus
probably.
The Green Bay Packers, the youngest team to win a playoff game since the modern era, since the Super Bowl era. And wow, what a show they put on against the Cowboys. I will say that was the only game that I did not pick the outright winner of in the past weekend. But I know you even had Packers. That's incredible.
I had Packers. Of course I did.
But
I had to.
So this is what happened, right? The Packers, they had to go for it on a 4th down on the first drive. Did they have a 4th and 1? They went for on the first drive. Eventually got in. Aaron Jones scored a touchdown. Then the Cowboys, they went a quick 3 and out, right?
Yeah.
They made it have 1 first down. As soon as they punted the ball, I was like, man, if I could repick right now, I would take the Packers because you could just feel the pressure, like the old classic Cowboys, all the pressure on Dak, all the pressure on Parsons, all the pressure on CD, all the pressure on Mike McCarthy, especially of just, oh no, here we go again. It's the same old Cowboys in the playoffs.
And brand new line, same old Cowboys. What a great year to be alive. That's awesome. Yep.
So yeah.
So do you think McCarthy's getting fired?
I think I just read something now that Jerry Jones is not going to. Maybe it's not confirmed, but I think that he should if they could get Belichick.
Yeah, there's a lot of good coaches out on the market right now, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah,
there's coaching carousel is a whole nother conversation. If we had more time, we could talk more about that.
Hey,
I want to talk a little bit about this matchup. So yeah, I mean, on paper for me, it just feels like the Packers already played their A+ game. That was their A+ game against the Cowboys. I don't see them doing it again against the Niners. What do you think?
I've been thinking about it a lot. I'm thinking the Packers got some good young receivers. Jordan Love has been balling out, and sometimes it's a quarterback game. And I just think Purdy, if he throws a couple picks, imagine Purdy back in the pocket, Jair, pick 6, could be game over. Packers could be heading to the NFC Championship. I really do. And Dontavian Wicks, bro, you didn't know him a few weeks ago. Nobody knew him, but he's nice. He's nice.
Well, how can you blame me? I just got accustomed to Watson and Dobbs last year. And then I was like, okay, I hear about this Jaden Reed guy. They drafted him, 2nd round? I was like, okay. Now apparently they drafted 2 wide receivers just like they did last year with Watson and Dobbs. Yes. I mean, Wicks had a big game. I mean, Dobbs had a crazy game.
Crazy. I mean, Jordan Love, though, is making
the biggest thing is Aaron Jones. I love Aaron Jones. I think he's one of the most underrated backs in the league. He's been out for about a month. Then he's come back.
That's what people forget.
He's lit the NFL on fire. His last 3 or 4 regular season games, all over 100 yards, and another huge 3-touchdown game, and the Cowboys couldn't tackle him.
Yeah, Packers are going to be ready to go for sure. Packers are going to be ready to go, and 49ers, they do have a good defense, but they can be beat. I know they can be beat, and I think the Packers do have a good chance. It's going to be hard to stop all those weapons on 49ers, obviously, but I do think the Packers can make a run at this one. I really do. I'm hoping it works. I know
you. I'm sure you would love to see an NFC North matchup.
I'd love to see that.
You get another chance at that Thanksgiving game at Ford Field.
Yes.
Even higher stakes.
The Packers are good. They could beat us in an NFC Championship if it happens.
So here's my thoughts is, though, it's just the 49ers, they've only lost one way, and that is if they don't start off well, if they are in
from behind.
But how often has that happened? They've won the majority of their games by an average of over 15 points. They blow teams out. And I just think that they're coming off the rest. Shanahan has had LaFleur's number in this matchup. I mean, these two teams have played in the playoffs a couple of times recently, back with Rodgers, and whether it was Garoppolo or whoever at quarterback for the Niners, and the Shanahan has just had this team figured out. I think that once again, the Niners just are too good across the board. I think that the Packers, while they had an incredible game against the Cowboys, I think they're still they're a year away because they're so young, they're talented, but I think that the Niners are locked in. If I haven't picked a side on this one yet, but I'm certainly leaning, I'll swallow the 9.5 points because the Niners blow everybody out.
Do they? And this is a playoff matchup in San Francisco. It is going to be electric, and I'm thinking Aaron Jones touchdown. Aaron Jones touchdown for sure. And I think the Packers make a run at it. I'm definitely taking their money line this weekend. Probably going to parlay that with some
Interesting.
stuff, and we're going to see
So
how we're
you
feeling.
think so I think the NFC game's a blowout. You think the AFC game's a blowout. We have also think I think the NFC game's or the AFC game's interesting. You think the NFC game's interesting. Maybe both of our fandoms are trying to think that our one seed on our side of the bracket's a little vulnerable. But anyway,
We're going to
we'll
be
move
looking
on.
nice, though. I think it can work.
We'll move on to the Sunday slate, and wow, I'm fired up for the Sunday slate.
That's gonna be awesome.
All right, Lions game's first, so let's talk about that one first. They're the first game on Sunday. Detroit hosting another playoff game.
Yep.
And now it's crazy because all NFC long, let's just go back to about week 10, week 11. Week 10, week 11, there were 3 contenders people thought had a chance to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
The Niners, the Cowboys, the Eagles.
Yep.
And Cowboys and Eagles, I mean, the Eagles fell off before the playoffs. They weren't the real contender before the playoffs. But week 10, week 11, week 12, they were, certainly. And the Cowboys, obviously, they're out of here now. Now Detroit is at worst the second pick in the NFC, but they've got
our rightful 2 seed.
Yeah, and they've got the matchup they want. What are your thoughts on this one?
I got a lot of thoughts about this one. I've been thinking about this one a lot, and I think it's going to be a great game in Ford Field. Imagine the cheapest seats in the stadium are going to be $500.
Yes,
in
dude, that's crazy.
That is electric. Electric Factory in Ford Field on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. I mean, all day in Detroit. I mean, they've been waiting for this. This city has been waiting for this moment, this run, and I feel like it's got a good chance of happening this year. The team's ready to go. The team's locked in. You don't hear a lot of buzz, at least just from the players themselves. You do hear a little bit, but I'm telling you, this city is ready to go. This city is ready to go for Detroit Lions W. And it's because we have a great offense. We really do. And if we can make Baker a little uncomfortable, our defense is going to be looking really good this game. And against the Bucs earlier in the season, it was 20-6 when the Lions won. J-Mo had a bomb touchdown. Goff played nice. We didn't even have Gibbs. And Montgomery got hurt that game, and we still won by 14 in Tampa. I mean, it's gonna be not easy. It's playoffs. It's not gonna be easy. There is a chance some could go haywire. Obviously, someone could get hurt or anything could happen. It is the NFL, but I'm thinking the Lions have a very good chance this weekend, and we're gonna bring it home to Detroit. I'm thinking Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown, David Montgomery. We're gonna be running the ball a lot, and then St. Brown's over on yards. Lock. J-Mo could get a deep ball too. We'll see how it goes, but so many weapons on the lines, and we're going to be ready to go. Goff's got the boys fired up. The whole city's ready to go. And that's just what you want to see. And you got any more thoughts about this game, B-Hess?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, didn't want to cut you off in the middle of it, but whenever you said the key being you need to get pressure on Baker, aren't the Bucs saying the exact same thing? Didn't they blitz the hell out of Jalen Hurts? That was for him. And isn't that the key to beat Goff is if you get pressure on him, make him freak out and do chest passes backwards? Did you see his stats? I saw stats when he was pressured and when he was not pressured against the Rams. Apparently, when he was not pressured, he was perfect. Did not throw an incomplete pass, something like 16 for 16. And pressured, he was something like 2 for 7. And I mean, so that's got to be the key for the Bucs too. And they're a team that's comfortable sending the blitz.
16 for 16.
They're a team that's comfortable sending the blitz, right? I mean, they did it all game against the Eagles, and it continued to work.
Yeah, it worked against the Eagles offense, and they have been sucking the last so many weeks.
Right, of course. Yeah. But like you said, you can't. I know the Lions manhandled the Bucs the last time they played 20-6. I remember that game. Bucs.
Both teams are different though.
Home jerseys, but I mean, didn't the Lions play the Packers twice this year and the games look nothing alike?
Yeah, yeah.
So
And something could go haywire. You're right.
exactly. So you have to look at the individual matchups for each game. And I feel like the Buccaneers, that is their key. They have to get pressure on Goff because I'm with you. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I like the Lions in this matchup. We just talked about the Eagles collapse. I thought that the Bucks versus the Eagles, I picked the Bucks with the points and straight up. But that's just because I thought the Eagles were the worst team in the playoffs by far. Like the only team that they should have been favored over on the road is the Panthers in the whole NFL. Like after the way they collapsed, they couldn't beat the Giants on the road. Why could they beat?
Gave up.
They couldn't beat the Eagles. They couldn't beat the Cardinals at home. I think that was in Philadelphia, wherever that one was. Why should they be favored? They were in a straight free fall. And the Bucks, not that impressive either. They won the worst division in football. So you do have to take it with a grain of salt. I think it's a dream matchup for the Lions, is what I'm saying.
It is. This is what we needed.
Probably the 12th or the 13th best team in the playoffs to begin with. Now I think they're clearly the 8th best team remaining. But I think that you still have to play the game. The Lions were the only team out of the 6 teams that won last week. The Lions were the only team that had to sweat. Everybody else was a comfortable win. So, you can't go into any game after having to sweat in the wild card round thinking, okay, the divisional round is going to get any easier, because it's not. It's going to get harder.
It will. It will not be easier, but the Rams are a better team than the Bucks.
Yes,
I think if the Rams play the Bucks, they win by a lot.
But like you said, one ball bounces, one call goes one other way, and we're not talking about this matchup. So you don't want it to get in a situation like that where it comes down to a final play or a final drive against the Buccaneers. What do you think offensively? How are the Lions going to be able to play like they did against the Rams in the first half, where they're scoring touchdowns instead of getting bogged down?
This is all you have to do. Ben Johnson in the first 25 plays of the game, his scripts are always amazing. What he's got the boys ready to do, we've always got the boys ready. People say Dan Campbell's not a good coach because he's too emotional. That's why we've got him and Ben Johnson as a great offensive coordinator, going to be a head coach probably after this year. And I mean, we're going to run the ball. We are going to run a lot of that ball. The ball's going to be getting around a lot. And Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, we have one of the best offensive lines. And to that point you said about Jared Goff under pressure, they are going to be sending the blitz, but we're going to be ready for it. We have one of the best offensive lines in the league. And so I'm thinking that we're going to be looking pretty nice there. And Jared Goff's going to make some good throws when he needs to. There will be bad plays, just no picks, Goff, and we win.
So run the ball. You think Gibbs gets in the end zone again? You think Montgomery gets in the end zone? Which one, if you had to pick one, would you lean towards in this matchup?
I would lean towards Gibbs. He's going to be definitely the better odds, or worse odds, I guess. Better chance to get a touchdown. Yeah, he is. He's a really good player, though. He's going to and he's going to be doing some cool dancing. I like that a lot. He's going to be doing a nice dance.
I think, like you said, they're going to want to run the ball, but also they're going to expect the blitz. So they're going to be ready for some quick screens, some quick outs. You get Laporta's full active in practice. I don't know how he recovered so quickly, but yeah, he's going to be ready to go. So quick outs to him, getting Gibbs out of the backfield. I was just playing devil's advocate. My pick in this game is certainly the Lions swallowing. As long as I get less than a touchdown, I'll be on the Lions. If I can get 6.5, I'll play that.
Yep. Okay. And you already know what I'm thinking about the Lions, but just this song just dropped. BS, I know you're gonna like this.
Oh boy.
This is a good song, and I'm just telling you, it's a good transition. We'll see what you're thinking about the Chiefs in a second.
Y'all remember I told y'all?
I told you. We going to the Super Bowl. We the Lions. We the Lions.
Got another first down.
We the Lions.
Got a touchdown.
We the Lions.
All right, enough of that, Lions, man.
Going to the Super Bowl.
We the Lions.
We'll talk about Super Bowl in a little bit.
I'm telling you, bro. I told you we're going to win the Super Bowl. Hey, you heard it here first. You did. We the Lions.
So you know we had to take it straight.
First game of the season.
All right. That's where I'm going to draw the line. Anything past this is getting edited out.
Hey, whoa, where are you at? Kansas City beef week 1. Yeah, we start off the season nice.
Well, you know what? That's perfect, because
all we do is win.
The Chiefs and the Lions. I have a great future on Chiefs beating the Lions in the Super Bowl. So you know what? I would love to get that rematch. I would be
That won't work. That
just
won't work.
itching for
That
that
won't
one.
work. That's not
But
going to work. I'm
the
sorry,
Chiefs
BS.
have to
That's
get
not
by the
going to.
Bills, and I know this is a game that we disagree on, so we'll go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, Chiefs
Chiefs,
Bills.
Bills.
Yeah, it will be a good one. It
Chiefs
will be a good one.
are
BS.
underdogs about 2.5 points. They're going to Orchard Park. Mahomes' first road playoff game. He's played in 15 playoff games. 50, surely it's 15 playoff games, not 15 home playoff games, because obviously he's played in 3 Super Bowls in neutral fields, even though one of them was in Tampa Bay playing against the
Yeah.
Buccaneers. Whatever. And yeah, Chiefs. Now people have questions about this Chiefs team. There's a reason they're playing on the road. It's because they're not the 1 or the 2 seed for the first time in the last 6 years since Mahomes has taken over as a quarterback. So do you got any questions to lead it off, or you want me to go straight into my analysis of the game?
Yeah, just go ahead, BS. I mean, it's going to be a good one. What are you thinking about this?
So I think that the Chiefs are the better team. Let me just
Yeah.
start there. The Chiefs have Mahomes, who has shown it time and time again in the playoffs that he takes it to a different level. The offense this year was not the same offense Mahomes has been playing with, but it was still efficiently good enough. It was still a top half offense. And I think in the playoffs, now it's time to ratchet it up. I think there is another gear to this offense. Has Kelsey lost a step? Yes, I think that's fair to say. But the team is so similar to the team that was a number 1 offense last year. They got different offensive tackles. Maybe that's a slight downgrade. We've got a better wide receiver 1. Rashee Rice is better than Juju was at this time last year. Anybody that argues that, they're just not watching enough Rashee Rice, or they're not watching enough Juju.
100%. Rasheed's nice.
But I guess just the regression of everybody else. Like, we'll see if Kadarius Toney plays. And I kind of am still holding out hope because he has the talent to be good. He has, like, when he's got the ball in his hands, he's made some just great plays, but he's also just made just some awful plays. Like, I was rewatching the Dolphins game the first time, and he only had 1 catch, but he made a great play over the middle, the Germany game. Got a first down, just looks so dynamic with the ball, but also obviously he's pretty much cost the Chiefs 2 whole entire games. And so we'll see if he even plays. But I mean, right now, Justin Watson, he was number 2 in snaps in that Dolphins game. So theoretically, he's right now the Chiefs' number 2.
Yeah. Number 2 receiver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Justin Watson would be a serviceable wide receiver 4. Like, he's a stretch the field guy when you need to.
He wouldn't make the lines. I know that. We have better receivers than that. All of them.
Right. MVS was 3rd on the team in snaps. Then Mecole Hardman. I would like to see Mecole Hardman get going. He was the only player that just looked just apathetic against the Dolphins. Did not look like he wanted to be out in the cold. So the Chiefs are going to need somebody to step up. But I think that the offense is not it certainly can't be the big disparity as it's been talked about all season. When you still have Mahomes, you have a better wide receiver 1, you still have Kelsey. Even if it's Kelsey 1 year later, he was still, 1,000-yard receiver if he plays in the last game of the season. Obviously, he didn't, but he's still, right there at 1,000-yard mark. So it's not like he's washed up by any means. He's not the Kelsey last year that was setting the NFL records on fire once again. But I think that the Chiefs have the offense to compete. But obviously, where I think the difference is the defense. This Chiefs defense is a top 3 defense in the league on the season. I think that it's very clear to say that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they have a wonderful defense. They stop everybody.
Chris Jones, Karlaftis off the edge. Karlaftis has taken a big step this year. Furious George, my guy. Of course, Stone Cold Jones. Then you've got Nick Bolton in the middle. Bolton is back to being healthy. The thing is, the Chiefs and the Bills, the last time they played, it was Nick Bolton's first game back from injury. And I think the only reason that he played in that game was because Drew Tranquill, who was his backup, was also out for that game. So they rushed Bolton back maybe a week early because they didn't have anybody to fill that linebacker spot. Now Bolton is completely healthy. He is the quarterback of the defense. The secondary is strong. Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed are 2 of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Nobody talks about either one of them.
Yeah.
And the
defense is going to be good.
Well. Reed is playing well. I mean, Shamari Connor's coming on. Mike Edwards had another pick last week. This is a really good defense, one that I think the Bills are going to struggle with. And the difference, I think, is that the Bills are banged up in the secondary. Yeah, the Chiefs pass catchers have struggled to get open to create separation. But I was watching that Steelers game at the end, and Mason Rudolph was finding everybody wide open in the second half once all those Bills players got hurt. Freiermuth was open. Deontay Johnson was open. Pickens was open. They all were either open or getting held every play. I think the Chiefs are going to have enough offense, and I think that the Bills are going to be stifled because Allen won't have those plays. Of course, yes, Allen will make the crazy play. I mean, I feel like every time the Chiefs play Josh Allen, he's either hurtling over somebody
of course.
or
it's playoffs.
just mowing his way into the end zone.
Yeah.
He's just a big, goofy mop. But I think that, yeah, of course, Josh Allen, I'll give him his credit. He's a great quarterback, but he's also prone to making mistakes, and he's also prone to inconsistent play. So he has to play great for one, I think, for them to even have a chance. Because we've seen him play great in a playoff game against the Chiefs and still not win. So until that changes, I have no reason to think that the Chiefs are not the team that is more likely to win this game. That's my thought.
That is fair. I'm thinking though, Buffalo are going to be ready to go. You see that in that Steelers game, anytime they scored a touchdown, what were the fans doing? Throwing those snowballs everywhere, bro. That game was cool. That game was awesome. And yeah, the Bills, they're ready to go. James Cook, he's been cooking ever since they fired that offensive coordinator and got the new guy in.
Cook is scary.
And yeah, and Cook is going to be running the ball a lot.
But is Cook and Pacheco a wash? Pacheco didn't play the first time the Chiefs played the Bills.
Yeah.
When Bills won, Pacheco did not play. Yeah. I agree. Cook cooked up the Chiefs the first time. The first time, he was really the reason the Chiefs won, or the Chiefs lost, obviously, besides the Kadarius Toney play at the end. But Cook was the main factor of that Bills offense. What do you think? Is Cook and Pacheco a wash in the run game?
No, I don't think so. I think Cook's going to be a little bit better. Bills defense is pretty good against the run, bro. I think it's going to be hard for Pacheco to get going, especially if Bills take an early lead, and Mahomes is going to have to start airing it out. But definitely, Josh Allen though is the X factor of this game. There's no doubt about that because in the playoffs, he is a different animal. This dude is not your regular quarterback. He's ready to run over anyone, especially for that first down. When he needs it, I think he'll be able to get it, and that's what should definitely be scaring Chiefs fans because this dude, it's time for him to shine. I really do feel like that, and it's going to be in Buffalo. Chiefs are they're used to the cold weather, but they're not used to that environment, bro. It's going to be absolutely electric against the Chiefs, and Josh Allen is going to be looking nice. He's going to be ready to toss it, and they got Diggs. They have a top receiver. If he gets going, he hasn't been towards the later of the season. The latter half of the season, he has not been getting going, but if they can get Snead somehow they can get Snead off his games. A few of those Chiefs players, they do have a great defense, but this is going to be a good game. I'm excited for that. And Josh Allen, I think he ends up winning them the game, probably by 3 points, probably by a field goal. That's why I'm staying away from the money line. I feel like Chiefs definitely could win. They really should. They're Super Bowl champions. It's going to be a toss up, but I'm thinking Bills pull it off at the end with Josh Allen, amazing play.
So a few things from what you just said there. One, not scared of Diggs at all, to be honest with you. He has not been playing great recently. And Snead and McDuffie will have no problem with him, just like they did the first time. And to be honest, I'm not really scared of the passing game at all because Gabe Davis is probably going to be out again. Gabe Davis has killed the Chiefs in the past. Shakir is coming on. He made a great play against Minka. Give him credit. Deontay Hardy had
that was dirty
punt return against the Dolphins that even gave them a chance to be hosting this game. I mean, everybody's acting like, oh, the Chiefs beat the lowly Dolphins. Wow, what an amazing. The Bills had to scrap and fight and claw and come back in the fourth quarter against the Dolphins 2 weeks ago. So it's just crazy how people want to discredit the Chiefs win against the Dolphins when who did the Bills beat? A TJ Wattless team that was on a third quarterback. I mean, come on, let's not act like that was an impressive win. Of course they were throwing snowballs up in the air. The Steelers defense has not won a game without TJ Watt since he's been in the league. It's nuts. They're like 1-11 without him. So
they were going to win that, obviously.
I think that, yes, the rushing attack, the Josh Allen runs, the James Cook runs, that is what scares me, is if that Buffalo can just get consistent gains on the ground. So, yeah, it's going to be up to the guys up front, especially since it looks like Derek Nottie, the Chiefs nose tackle, probably not going to play in that game. He got hurt early against Miami. He's probably the least heralded guy in the starting lineup of the Chiefs defense, but maybe one of, if not the most important when it comes to the run game. Not the most important. Of course, you got the linebackers. Bolton and Gay will be tasked to do a lot. Of course, Chris Jones blowing up stuff behind the line of scrimmage. But, yeah, the run game scares me. I will admit that. The pass game doesn't really, because I love the back end of the Chiefs secondary. I love the ability for Karlaftis and Jones to get pressure if Josh Allen is having to just drop back and throw. And then on the other end of the field, when we talk about injuries, it's part of the game. And the Bills secondary and the linebacking core is so beat up that they released the injury report today. There were 3 linebackers, 3 cornerbacks, and 1 safety for the Bills. That's 8 players in the back 7 that were either limited in practice or did not practice today because of injury. So they are just so depleted back there that I think that if it is close, that's going to be the difference in the game, is that these wide receivers that haven't been able to get open, that haven't been able to make plays, might make 1 or 2 plays. I want it to all be Rice and Kelsey, just like the Dolphins game. In the Dolphins game, Rice got targeted 12 times. Kelsey got targeted 10 times. Do you know how many the rest of the team combined for targets?
Probably about 5.
12. So Rice had as many targets as everybody besides Kelsey combined. So, yes, that's what they need to do. Feed Rice, feed Kelsey, mix in those other guys, because you're right. There's no reliable wide receiver 2. So don't try to make there be one unless he's open and he's ready to make a play. But I think that they will be. And Mahomes, and the other point I wanted to make, Mahomes is not scared of going on the road. I know he's never done it in the playoffs, but it's because he's never had to. It's not like, oh, I need to, can we go down 7 points? We'll give away 7 points at the start of the game so we can play at Arrowhead. No, it's because they're always the 1 or the 2 seed. And every game that Mahomes plays on the road the last 3 years since he's won a Super Bowl feels like a playoff game. Everybody wants to beat the Chiefs. Who doesn't want to beat the Chiefs?
Of course, dynasty.
It's every team's Super Bowl whenever they play the Chiefs, because
it was in there, Kansas City for the Lions.
Right, exactly. So,
yes, sir.
So I don't think that it actually is a playoff game this time, but it's not like Mahomes hasn't been in high pressure situations on the road, and he's always been clutch in the playoffs. When it comes down to it, I trust Mahomes and Andy Reid more than I trust Josh Allen and McDermott. I think that they each have equal level of pieces around them when it comes to offense and defense. I think in the past, there's been games where the Chiefs defense has been so bad where the Bills had the better team outside of McDermott and Allen. I don't think that's the case this year. Outside of Mahomes and Andy Reid, you take the quarterbacks and coaches away from both teams, I think that the Chiefs have better personnel than the Bills, offense and defense, top to bottom. So I'm going with the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs to win. I like the Chiefs to cover. I haven't decided if I think the Chiefs are going to win by more than 1 touchdown. But I think that I could see them winning by 3. I could see them winning by 4. I could see them winning by 7. I could see them winning by 10 or 13, though, as well.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. I'm thinking it's definitely going to be a close game. Bills win. You have any TD scores you're thinking today? You think Rasheed? You think Rasheed's going to
I was on Rasheed and Pacheco against the Dolphins, and those were the only 2 that scored touchdowns, so it was perfect.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to get fancy because, like I just said, the Chiefs need to focus on 3 players on the offense. Get the ball to Pacheco, get the ball to Kelsey, get the ball to Rasheed.
So you're thinking Rasheed touchdown?
So, yeah, I would not advise to bet anybody outside of those 3 unless you understand that it's going to be more likely that it does not happen than it does. Some off-the-wall guy that I do think that I like a little bit is Noah Gray, the second tight end, because they featured more 2 tight end sets against the Dolphins than they have most of the season, whether that's just a matchup against the Dolphins defense or whether that's a playoff thing they want to go to with the wide receiver core being lacking. Noah Gray was on the field more. And with these Bills injuries in the linebacking core and the secondary that I'm talking about, I think Gray could get some positive matchups. So if you want to take a shot, my shot play as a touchdown scorer would be Noah Gray, but tried and true, Pacheco, Rasheed, I would take both of them.
Gotcha. That makes a lot of sense. I'm thinking Josh Allen's got a good chance of getting in too because he's a big man. He gets on the outside. He's going to run the ball a lot against this Chiefs defense. He has to. It's the playoffs. He's putting his body on the line. And I think there's a good chance he gets in. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting weekend.
It's divisional weekend. It's one of the best
it's going
weekends
to be awesome.
in the
It's
year.
going to be awesome.
I'm hyped that your Lions are in it. Of course, the Lions Chiefs back-to-back games are going to be nuts because I think I'm going to be watching with my buddy again. That's a Lions fan. We can't change anything up now. It's always worked. The Chiefs and the Lions have won last week together. So I think we're going to have to keep it up. But my picks are Ravens, Niners, Lions, Chiefs. All right, what are your 4 picks? Are you going Packers?
I'm going Packers. I think Lions, Packers, me back up in the NFC Championship in Detroit. That would be so electric. Winner goes to the Super Bowl. I'm thinking that's going to happen. Jordan Love's going to have a good game. Purdy falls off a little bit. And then, yeah, I'm thinking Ravens definitely win that. And then Bills get in there, and we'll see how it goes in the AFC Championship. So it's going to be a crazy weekend. Real quick, BS, for your Super, who you think's going to make the Super Bowl and who you think's going to win?
Man, I've got the future. I think it's Chiefs Lions again. And I think that the Chiefs get the job done this time.
That would be nice. No, they won't do that. They won't do that. Okay.
What about you? What's your Super Bowl prediction currently?
I'm thinking Ravens Lions. That's gonna be electric.
The Lions can win it all.
Ravens are gonna get in there. Lamar might beat us. He really might. He's so good. They beat us real bad earlier in the year. I was watching that game. Had a lot of money on the Lions for that one. It did not work, but I'm thinking we're going to make the Super Bowl in Vegas, and we're going to be ready to go. Vegas is going to be electric. I can't wait for the Super Bowl. Even if it's not the Lions, Lions have had a great year, and you already know it's going to be an electric playoffs the rest of the way. One of the greatest seasons of NFL playoffs and the season of all time. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I know you're a Chiefs fan. You're going to say it's because the Chiefs have a dynasty. It's nice. No, this is the most parity there's ever been in the NFL. You're going to say, oh, no, the Chiefs Super Bowls are the best. No. This is the best parity. These are the best teams we've seen in a while.
Once the Chiefs win it again, I can't wait to have that clipped because Chiefs are going to take them all down. And all I can say to my final thoughts before we sign off here today is I just hope that we can have this pod again next week with both of our teams still in the hunt to lift that Lombardi.
We're going to be ready to go.
All right. Well, great talking to you. Go Chiefs. Chiefs Kingdom. Get on your feet this weekend, baby. We're beating the Bills again.
No, pride's that could happen, but pride, the one pride in Detroit, it's going to be electric. I mean, if you've got tickets to that game, I mean, you're killing that. That is going to be awesome. And I mean, yes, what a time for the playoffs. But yeah, definitely Hesse Bros Podcast. I mean, that was a great first episode. Love you, bro.
Tune in next week as we talk about the AFC and NFC championships. As always, good luck to all in all your bets and your picks. We'll see you next week.